What is up, sports fans, and welcome back to the Roger Report. We've got a jam-packed show for you today, kicking off with some gridiron drama. Get ready for a deep dive into quarterback battles, surprising performances, and shocking injuries that are shaking up the league. From vintage throws to devastating turnovers, we're covering it all. Plus, we're breaking down some serious quarterback controversies and giving you the inside scoop on who's in and who's out. We've got a story on Russell Wilson's incredible comeback performance that was almost legendary, but then disaster struck. And we'll also be looking at Justin Fields' tough day and Mitch Trubisky's brief but impactful moment on the field. You do not want to miss this. Stick around because this is the Roger Report. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Vintage Russell Wilson performance ends in disaster as Giants fall to Cowboys. For 3.5 quarters in Arlington, Russell Wilson looked like a quarterback reborn. The 36-year-old, playing for his fourth team in 5 years, shredded the Dallas Cowboys defense with a mix of precision passing and daring deep shots that made MetLife Stadium's whispers of a looming quarterback change feel premature. But in overtime, with the game hanging in the balance, one ill-fated throw erased the glow of a career night and handed Dallas a 40-37 victory over the New York Giants. The contrast was as dramatic as the game itself. Wilson completed 30 of 41 passes for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, a performance that ranked among the best of his 14-year NFL career. Malik Nabers, the Giants' rookie phenom, looked nearly unstoppable with 167 yards and 2 scores, while Wan'Dale Robinson added 142 yards and a touchdown of his own. For once, New York's offense looked explosive, dynamic, and dangerous. And yet, as has so often been the case in the back half of Wilson's career, the brilliance came with a sting. On second down in overtime, Wilson dropped back and forced a deep ball into traffic. Dallas safety Donovan Wilson stepped in front, intercepted it cleanly, and set up the Cowboys' winning kick. Just like that, what had been a statement performance turned into another frustrating loss for a Giants team already facing difficult questions. The outing came at a pivotal moment. A week earlier, Wilson stumbled badly in his Giants debut against Washington, throwing for just 168 yards on 17 of 37 passing in a 21-6 loss. Fans and media alike began clamoring for rookie Jaxson Dart, the team's first-round pick, to get his shot sooner rather than later. Head coach Brian Daboll defended the veteran, emphasizing that the long-term development plan for Dart wouldn't be rushed. But the pressure was mounting, and Sunday's showdown with Dallas looked like a potential turning point. For most of the night, Wilson delivered the exact kind of performance the Giants needed: calm in the pocket, sharp on deep routes, and capable of putting points on the board against one of the NFC's top defenses. His 48-yard strike to Nabers in the closing seconds of regulation was the kind of moment Giants fans had been waiting for: a bold throw, perfect timing, and a touchdown that should have sealed the upset. Brandon Aubrey's 64-yard field goal for Dallas, tying the game at the buzzer, robbed Wilson of his chance to finish as the hero. Overtime was Wilson's chance at redemption, but it also exposed the other side of his game. With the ball near midfield, he bypassed a checkdown option that could have pushed the Giants into field goal range. Instead, he lofted a deep shot off his back foot, a throw that never had a chance. It was a reminder of the same overconfidence and improvisation that frustrated coaches in Seattle and Denver, the willingness to gamble when caution was the better path. The mistake was magnified by how close the Giants were to stealing a season-altering win. Instead, Aubrey's 46-yarder sealed the result and left Wilson and the Giants searching for silver linings in another narrow defeat. For Daboll, the performance may have complicated more than it clarified. Wilson's 450-yard outburst was easily his best showing since leaving Seattle, and it demonstrated the upside of trusting a veteran who still believes he can lead. But the overtime interception reinforced why so many wonder if the Giants should turn sooner to Dart, the rookie already viewed as the franchise's future. The schedule won't make the decision any easier. Next up is a Sunday night clash with the Kansas City Chiefs, followed by the Los Angeles Chargers. Both opponents will test New York's ability to win close games, and both will magnify every decision at quarterback. Wilson, for his part, embraced the noise. After the game, he spoke about resilience, perspective, and faith, noting that he doesn't need outside praise or criticism to define his play. But the reality is that every snap he takes will be dissected as the Giants weigh development against the pursuit of wins in a season already teetering on the edge. Sunday's game was the perfect encapsulation of what Wilson has become at this stage in his career. At his best, he remains capable of torching defenses with precision and daring, creating flashes of brilliance that can carry a team. At his worst, he is prone to the kind of reckless gamble that can undo it all in an instant. The Giants lived both realities in one afternoon in Dallas. They got the star power, the fireworks, and the vintage Wilson magic. But they also got the heartbreak, the interception, and the reminder that no performance is safe from the chaos that has followed Wilson throughout his career. The question now is how many more times the Giants are willing to live through it. Don't go anywhere, because the drama is just heating up. Next, we're diving into the injury report and another former Steelers' unexpected moment in the spotlight. Russell Wilson, I embraced the noise and answered the call. After a dismal Week 1 performance, whispers grew louder about the New York Giants potentially benching quarterback Russell Wilson for first-round pick Jaxson Dart. Wilson, however, spent his Week 2 visit to Dallas doing everything he could to silence those doubts, delivering a performance that was nearly spectacular. Wilson lit up the Cowboys' defense, throwing for an impressive 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. A 48-yard bomb to Malik Neighbors with just 25 seconds left in regulation even looked like it would be the game winner. However, the excitement was short-lived. Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey's 64-yard field goal at the buzzer forced overtime, and a costly interception by Donovan Wilson in the extra period ultimately sealed the Giants' fate in a 40-37 loss. Despite the heartbreaking finish, Wilson's post-game focus wasn't on the mistake. He spoke about embracing the scrutiny and the pressure he faced during the week. I embrace the noise, Wilson stated. I don't run from it, and we have to keep answering the call. He emphasized the team's effort and belief in each other despite the 0-2 start. This performance, while resulting in a loss, demonstrated Wilson's capability to still play at a high level. It offers a glimmer of hope for the Giants in the short term, even as the pressure to see rookie Jaxson Dart at some point this season will undoubtedly grow with continued losses. The upcoming schedule, featuring tough matchups against the Chiefs and Chargers, will be a significant test for Wilson and the Giants as they look to turn their season around. But Russell Wilson wasn't the only former Steeler quarterback making headlines. We're about to explore what happened with Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky. First call, Justin Fields injured. Mitch Trubisky plays, Russell Wilson's big day. In a weekend of contrasting fortunes for former Steelers quarterbacks now in New York, Russell Wilson delivered a vintage performance for the Giants, while Justin Fields suffered an injury that cut his day short. Adding another layer to the quarterback narratives, Mitch Trubisky saw action for the Buffalo Bills. Russell Wilson, after a disappointing debut, bounced back in a big way against the Dallas Cowboys. He completed 30 of 41 passes for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, with standout performances from receivers Malik Neighbors, 9 catches, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Wan'Dale Robinson, 8 catches, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Despite this offensive explosion, the Giants ultimately fell to the Cowboys 40-37 in overtime, leaving them at 0-2. On the other hand, Justin Fields had a difficult outing for the New York Jets. He struggled significantly, completing only 3 of 11 passes for 27 yards and also fumbled once. To compound matters, Fields was diagnosed with a concussion, forcing him out of the game. Tyrod Taylor finished the game for the Jets, who lost 30-10 to the Buffalo Bills. In that same Bills game, Mitch Trubisky, another former Steelers quarterback, had a brief but notable appearance. He stepped in for Josh Allen when the Bills' star quarterback left the game for a few plays with a bloody nose in the first quarter. Trubisky successfully completed a 32-yard pass to Joshua Palmer for a first down before Allen returned. This brief stint highlights Trubisky's role as a capable backup for the Bills. Injuries and standout performances are just part of the NFL story. Coming up, we'll see how Russell Wilson felt about his own performance, even in a loss. Giants QB Russell Wilson doesn't care about silencing critics, but he did it anyway. The New York Giants may have lost a heartbreaker to the Dallas Cowboys, but quarterback Russell Wilson emerged from the game with a performance that was both vintage and, in his own words, personally significant. Despite the external noise and calls for rookie Jaxson Dart to take over, Wilson focused on his own capabilities, delivering a stat line that nearly secured a victory. Wilson threw for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, showcasing the kind of deep ball accuracy and leadership that defined his earlier career. He connected with Malik Neighbors for 2 crucial touchdowns, including a 48-yard strike with mere seconds left in regulation that should have sealed the win. Even a 32-yard touchdown pass to Wan'Dale Robinson earlier in the fourth quarter demonstrated his clutch ability. These plays were a stark contrast to the Giants' Week 1 struggles and quieted the growing chorus advocating for Dart. "I know how talented I am. I know what I'm capable of," Wilson stated post-game, emphasizing that his performance was for himself, not to appease critics. He acknowledged the team's effort and the resilience shown throughout the game, despite the eventual 40-37 overtime loss. While the overtime interception to Donovan Wilson ultimately proved costly, and the Giants fell to 0-2, Wilson's performance was praised by teammates. "He's resilient," said Neighbors. "He knows his preparation. He's comfortable in there." The veteran quarterback's play offered a glimpse of what he can still do, potentially buying him more time despite the team's winless record and the looming presence of Jaxson Dart on the depth chart. What a roller coaster for Russell Wilson, but that's all the time we have for these stories. Stick around for a rapid-fire recap and our full call to action. All right, sports fans, what a whirlwind of NFL action we've covered. Russell Wilson delivered a vintage, albeit ultimately heartbreaking, performance for the Giants against the Cowboys. Meanwhile, Justin Fields suffered an injury, and Mitch Trubisky had a brief but notable moment on the field for the Bills. That's all the news for today, but don't go anywhere. We've got a full recap coming up right after this. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on so you don't miss a single update from the Roger Report. And let us know in the comments which play or story you found most shocking.